have a problem, a big, big problem with that. You understand what I'm saying to you? People ain't like me. I don't care. It is what it is. Hmm? And I want our digital court system so that our magistrates don't have to come to Elufra. Because the government is having a difficult time finding magistrates who want to travel to these islands anyway. But they can resolve these situations by two things. One, putting in place systems to allow um, administrators to deal with certain matters, as they've been doing in the past. Making sure that everything is done digitally to ensure that the administrators are doing what they're supposed to do so that if there's anything that goes wrong, they can fix that situation right away. And that should be digitally too, so that it can be recorded and documented. And the person who's having the experience should be able to get access to that information right away. Secondly, implementing a digital court system that can work anywhere in these 700 islands. Anywhere. You could be in the US and still go to court. Head up to the Bahamas embassy or to an official US office that will allow for it and be able to go on Zoom and appear before a court in the Bahamas or however you want to. Just as long as you're not a defendant. But you understand what I'm saying? It should be something to help you with that. You understand? And they do have digital court for some people. It's just not for the poor people. But you represent the poor people, so why are you doing it? Anyway, let's move on. Speaking of court, we have the situation with my good friend Blake Pinder and his sister Dominic Pinder. It says pair of siblings charged. This is pair of siblings charged over vulgar shanty town demolition clash. And this was written by Leandra Rule of the Tribune. It says two Eleuthera property owners were formally charged yesterday over a confrontation that erupted during a government demolition exercise in Spanish Wells earlier this month, an incident that was purportedly captured on video and widely circulated on social media. It says siblings Blake and Dominic Pinder appeared before acting magistrate Gwendolyn Patram and pleaded not guilty to charges of disorderly behavior, obscene language, and abusive language. Blake Pinder also faces an additional charge of obstruction. The charges arise from a clash between the siblings and members of the Unregulated Community Action Task Force during the demolition of condemned structures in the Shantytown area of Spanish Wells. Prosecutors allege the defendants shouted racial slurs and obstructed officials as the operation was being carried out. Allegations both denied in court. As a condition of their release, the defendants were ordered not to post anything about the matter on social media. The case was adjourned to February 4th. The confrontation followed a demolition exercise that drew national attention after videos circulated online showing heated exchanges between the siblings and task force officers. The operation formed part of a broader government initiative to remove unregulated structures deemed unsafe or unlawful. Prior to the charges being laid, Blake Pinder had publicly accused government officials of illegally demolishing property owned by his family, which is true, arguing that authorities failed to properly engage him despite efforts to regularize the development. That is also true. He maintained that the land owned by his late father for decades had been used to provide housing and had existing utility connections. They did, and he disputed its classification as a shanty town. No, you can't accuse somebody of having a shanty town on their private property if they are Bahamian and they constructed those things. The shanty towns are constructed by foreigners, by Asians, or other persons who are not supposed to be there. Somebody, a Bahamian constructing on their property is not considered a shanty town. Because then, if it is so, then we got a gang of shanty towns in Nassau that the government needs to fix. All right?